We are thrilled about our Indian culture. Um, India is not a country also, but it is a subcontinent. And we are enjoying the cultures of our India, our classical dance, classical music, folk dance, folk music, and folk languages also. So there is so much variation, and how this culture are developed in our India. It is not a immediate things that it is developed in 100 years. No, that is not. Since throughout the ages, it is developed in the part of our and become a part of our Indian culture. So in this chapter, I will discuss about the making of regional culture. Hi, I am Anamika and you are watching my channel, and this is basically class 7 NCERT books and it will be in English medium mostly, and in subsequently I will try to bring in a Hindi medium also, and that is part of a CSET syllabus. So after that lesson I will discuss about the MCQ. Okay, so here is that the ChatGPT is did a mistake. Gemini. I made the PPT from Gemini. So that is the mocking, not the mocking, that is a making our regional culture. So in that first slide, what defines the regional culture? Region means the part of a country, such as our southern region, our northern region, our eastern region, western region. That is the things. In southern region, we will see the development of the language, such as in Odisha there is a Odissi language and Tamil language in Tamil Nadu, Malayalam language in Kerala. So this kind of regional language are developed in the part of southern part, and most of the southern language are part of classical language also, because these are the oldest language and they are not borrowed from some other language also, but such as Rajasthani language and other language which is borrowed from Hindis mostly. So we are not called as a classical language, but in case of the classical, these are the oldest language. Their literary tradition is very old, 1500 to 2001. So that's why we call it a classical language. Okay. So in that case of the regional culture, region means the fusion of classical dance, classical language, also even folk dance and folk music also. So in that case, we will read about the parts of development, some of the temple architecture we also read about that. So second thing is that is the called regional culture. Cheda kingdom. In part of our India, we will see that in the western part of our southern India, that is the development of the Cheda kingdom. Cheda kingdom basically was developed in Kerala. In Tamil Nadu, Chola and Pandas was there. So these three of the regional kingdom attacked each other during the time of their to capture for landing and land and so much so on. But these kingdoms were developed in ancient times also. In Cheda kingdom, we saw the development of the Malayalam language. Not only that, Sanskrit was also there, and there is a fusion of the text, fusion of the literary tradition, such as that Munibadalam. There is a literary tradition also, literature, and these are the fusion of the two languages, such as Sanskrit and regional language. And there is also another thing is Lalita Palam. That is their name is the Cheda culture fusion. That is the Lilati Lakam. Actually, that is basically from the south. Those who are from south, they are effectively pronounce it, but those are from north, they cannot, or east, they cannot effectively pronounce it. So sorry for this. And that is, its meaning is diamonds and coral. Okay, so maybe question can be asked that what is the meaning of the Monipadalam or Lilati Lakam. So that is the meaning of diamonds and coral. That is a fatally name. That is not someone something. Means maybe this literally literature is like diamonds. Is that those diamonds means the very precious thing. These things are also very precious. That's why. Jagannath temple, Jagannath card. In Puri, we'll all say about the Ratharajata of the Jagannath temple. So these three Jagannath of these temples are very oldest, and during the Ganga kingdom, Anantavarman and Anantavarman, he said established this Jagannath cart, okay, and Anantavarman too. And Anantavarman also the king of the Ganga kingdom, and he thought that he devoted his his state to Jagannath. Means he actually legitimized his rule through the basic of Jagannath Dev, and Jagannath is a avatars of Vishnu, so we call the Jagannath of is a Vishnu. Next, Jagannath, Subhadra, and his father. These three things we all sing in our home also, Jagannath. Okay. So that is the things of Jagannath called, and these temples are called as a very oldest temple, and many of the Odissi dance was sculpted on Jagannath temple. So many of the classical dance which is actually we see about that, whether it is Odissi or Bharatanatyam, Tamil Nadu, and Mohiniyattam also. So these things are basically developed from Devdasi culture and throughout the temple tradition. Anantavarman and Ananga Bhima. Anantavarman commissioned the temple of Jagannath, and Ananga Bhima III dedicated the kingdom of the deity, proclaiming he is the deputy of the god. Okay. So political and religious significance. So whatever we will see about that, those power who came to India from foreign, but especially Mughal and British, tried to control the temple. Here Marathas means Marathas are not actually foreigner, they are also indigenous, but when they want to capture the Odissi, so Odissi people or think about that they are also foreigner, okay. But in case of the Mughal, we will see about that Mughal and Sultanate, whenever they came to India, they tried to destroy our temple also. Whenever we read about that, we show many of these example of that. They destroyed our temple, Jain temple, Buddhist temple also, and Hindu temple, and built their mosques. So that is the things. So British tried to want to do that also, but they are not successful. So Rajput ideal. Rajput ideal. Rajput culture is basically developed in Rajputana. Rajputana means Rajasthan. Rajasthan means the place of Rajas, place of king. And in that case, in Rajasthan, we saw many heroic battles also, and they glorified these things. And we will see about that. They are women are performing sati. Sati means some kind of jihad type, because after their husband they during the war, they themselves put into the funeral parlor. So it is called some kind of sati system. Sati system actually not jihad system, but comparable to Shruti. But in case of the Shruti, most of the things was happening in the eastern part in Bengal and another area also. But Shruti system basically are doing because of the land property. On that times also that a little age woman married to a older age man. So after they are dead, maybe there are another of the relatives thought that if this woman girls will survive and she will take the property of that her husband. That's why she was killed in that way. So this system, okay. So because in Bengal there is another thing that Daya Bhag tradition means female also get the ownership of the property of the husbands or fathers also. That's why in that case of pooling system we see that one man is marry the hundreds of females. So that is pooling system is also part of the Sati system. So that is the case of Rajput idol, and Rajput heroism was literally idealized in Raso. Raso is some kind of heroic song, okay. And Prithviraj Raso, we will read about that. Chand Baroda, he wrote about the Prithviraj Raso. So that is the things we all know about the Rajput ideal. Ruthi Rani, there is a story of Ruthi Rani also. Means not only the heroism of the female kings are not celebrated, but also the female queens, the queens who are also part of the battles and they stand by each other with their husband. So their story also we read about them. Rajasthan history is so much vast and it is really a very fascinating. If we all want to read about that, if you have time, you can read about that. There is also so many stories in YouTube, also you can listen to that. The range of emotion, that is the Rajasthan painting and Rajasthan classical song also portray their love, patriotism and emotion. Rajasthan is basically, there are so much variation of their paintings such as Mewar, Jaipur, Jodhpur, Kota, Gunti and Kishangarh. And so this is the variation of the Rajputanas painting, and their paintings are totally different from the Mughals painting because they are depicting, these Mughal paintings are depicting a court scene and grandeur, and but in case of the Rajasthan painting, many of the paintings are religious and the Radha Krishna love and the portrait of the natural scene and portrait of the folk things we will see about the Rajasthan painting. And these paintings are very good in nature and articulate also. And जैसे such as Banithari painting as a part of Kishangarh, and it was coming in EPS 2018 and 19. So that is the case of this Rajasthan painting, and there is a part of the story of Kathak also. Kathak is actually a classical dance, and it was flourished in the court of King and Nawab Wajid Ali Shah in Lucknow. He patronized the Kathak, and there are so many variations. There is also variation of the Jaipur in Kathak, Jaipur in Rajasthan. So this is the basic of the Kathak silk also, and these Kathaks are also developed in Punjab, Haryana and so on, but there is a variation. Okay, so Kathak is also a classical dance. And that is the intricate footwork, costume requirement. You will see that if you have time, you can see Kathak dance in YouTube also. Here I cannot include the pictures. See this is the recognized classical form of dance, Manipuri, Kathakali and Mohiniyattam also. and Kuchipudi in Andhra, and Bharatanatyam and Odissi. Okay, Kuchipudi is Andhra Pradesh. Basic main classical dance are from South India, most of the, because in South India Devdasi systems was prominent there, and Devdasi are classical dancer also. From their part you will get that classical form of dance. The many temple wall there is a variation part of their gesture and their posture also. They intricate on the wall of the temple. That's why we get from the Odissi dance or any classical dance. Tradition of miniature. Miniature means there is a small painting and detail work done on both papers and illustrating giant text. Mughal artistic influence. See, whenever we see about that, the difference of the Rajput painting and the Mughal painting was totally different. And many of the cases they also depicted the natural scene, but in case of the Mughal painting they also depicted the natural scene, but they showcase the grandeur of the court scene and whether king killed animal or not. In case of the Rajasthan we see that is the things is not doing, because there is a Vaishnavite and Jain tradition where killing of many animal is not done. That's why in case of the Mughal that is totally different. And Babur is a devoted artist of the Mughal painting. But thing is that in his autobiography Tujki Baburi, and he detailedly indicate the natural scenes also, and the bags means that garden also. There is also another thing said during the time of Akbar and Jahangir, they also tried to intricately detail painting in case of the Mughal, and Shahjahan also is very ardent followers, and not only that he also patronized the Mughal painting. After that, during Aurangzeb time, he did not waste so much time on paintings. And there is also another thing is that during time of the Humayun, the two Persian artists Abdus Samad and Suryodani came to India. And so there is so much fusion of the Indian painting, India's painting plus Persian painting. Okay, so that is the Mughal artistic influence. Kangra painting and Pahari school. Kangra painting and Pahari school, there are two types of painting. There is another thing is the Basholi painting and another is a Kangra. And Basholi painting is a depiction of the Bhanudatta's Rasamanjari. Kangra painting is depiction of the Vaishnavite culture. Okay, so that is the things. And why these regional paintings was developed, because during the time of the Nadir Shah 1739 and the Bharj of the Mughal, whenever the Mughal emperor and their power was reduced on that times also, so the Mughal painters are shifted to regional parts of India such as Basoli, Kangra and Rajputana style. That's why many of the regional paintings depict the Mughal influence also. There is another thing is that Bengali literature. Bengal, in case of the Bengal, there is three things are happening. First thing is there is a deep tie between the Magad and Bengal, and on that time Gupta ruler started the Sanskrit tradition in Bengal. Not only that, after that, whenever the Akbar tried to capture Bengal, introduced the Persian at the administrative language. And there is another thing is in Bengal there is separate of the Sultanate, such as Ilyas Shahi, Hussain Shahi, and the Pal Raja, Sen Raja, their culture and their separate tradition were developing in Bengal. And in that case, Ilyas Shahi, Hussain Shahi, in that time, the regional Bengali language was developed. Okay, so there is another thing is the Nath tradition and Dharma Thakur tradition. That is a folk ballad type of the tradition. So that is the culture of the Bengali literature. Not only that, that is a Nath tradition culture was there. And there is a concept of the Peer. Peer refers to the Shufi, Hindu or Buddhist monk and deified soldiers also. And any animated things means there is a folk tradition that everything, even the stone is considered as God. Even we are also considering the stone is our God also. So most of the things, those who have or don't have any life, even we are called as the God. That is called the animism. Okay, so that is the things. And in case of the Nath literature, there is another thing is that stories such as Mainamati and her son Gopi Chand who adapt the path of asceticism. So if there is a question about the Dharma Thakur is associated with the which part of the region, so we are called is a part of our Bengali culture. Even the Nath literature, that is called as Mainamati and her son Gopi Chand, that is also a part of the Nath literature and the part of Bengali culture. Okay, so not only that, in Bengal also there is another thing is the temple architecture, that is called terracotta temple architecture, and we will see these things were developed in the part of Bankura district and Bishnupur. And if you go to Bishnupur, you will see so many of the terracotta temples, and that is really very good. I will suggest you please go there and see, so that the economy of Bishnupur is flourished also, because I am from Bishnupur, so it is really a very proud moment for me. So I will suggest you please go there and see the temple architecture of the Bishnupur. And if you want to buy terracotta, and there is also things is that famous silks is also there, so you can buy silk also. And there is another thing is the documentary. There is a documentary of the Bishnupur, so I will suggest you to see the documentary in YouTube. So that is the things, and that there is also another things is that Bengal, and in these last things there is a difference of Bengal feast habit. See, most of the case is that why in Brahmanical tradition non-veg are not allowed, but in case of the Bengal, that is another things because of the proximity of the river and the not available so much good crops. That's why Bengali people adopted the fish as their food. And in that case, Brihadan Puran permitted Brahmins to take fish also. So that is a part of our regional culture, and I will end the discussion about that. And after that, I will bring a MCQ session of that. Okay, so thank you.